Revenge is a dish best served with violence and K-pop. Ballerina is a Netflix original from South Korea, written and directed by Chung Hyung Lee, who did The Call as well as some other films. Check out his IMDb page for the full list of his work. And this centers around a young lady that seems so quiet and so nice, but a little bit sinister, named Okju. And basically, it turns out that this particular young lady is not as innocent as she seems. Her quiet demeanor just hides the fact that she has a particular set of skills that make her a nightmare for people that decided to hasten the end of her friend Ming-hee's life, and now she is out for revenge. She says, that's it. I'm going to go take revenge, and I'm just going to kill them all. So, yeah, the description right there reads kind of like a female John Wick with a South Korean flavor. And there are some of the same beats, in all honesty. But when it comes to South Korean action movies, assassin movies, whatever, the action scenes are the meat and potatoes and the goddamn 5-course, full-course meal. This whole thing, and I do not understand how they manage to pull off these stunts. The tremendous camera work, the goddamn great cuts, the great stunts, the violence, the brutality, great goddamn shit. The action scenes are the fucking peak of the goddamn film. I mean, they are just so goddamn good. Starts great, has one particular part in a hotel, and then a part later on because we have to have a blood-soaked action finale. And it's just fun, and it's breezy. It's 93 goddamn minutes bell to bell, and we get, some of the story told through flashbacks. We find out just how close of friends they were, and really, really good stuff. Is it wholly original? No, not necessarily, but as far as South Korean movies that I've seen that were released on Netflix, this is one of the most entertaining ones. This was really good shit. Yeah, there are some issues, a lot of the cliches and the same beats that, populate these various movies seep into this, but the frenetic energy, the bright colors, and some of the sets, and the way they film those action scenes absolutely make this just a goddamn blast. It's a real goddamn blast. If not wholly original, it's a lot of fun. And also, the actress that plays Okju, she's great. She's great. I gotta see more stuff that she's in. Not gonna attempt to pronounce the cast members' names because I don't want to screw that up. But it's just a fun, breezy 90-minute movie, and just there are a couple parts that made me wince. That it just shows how she was absolutely willing to go to tremendous extremes to get revenge and to help out the innocents. And whew, boy, it was a lot of fun. I'm going to talk about that in the spoiler section, but if you have a Netflix account, it is out there. Ballerina is a whole lot of fun. We find out why it was called Ballerina. Yes, there are ballerinas in the goddamn movie, obviously. Otherwise, it would be a bit weird to have that translation and have that be the title if it involved, I don't know, fishmongers or the meat gentleman. And only people that understand and listen to a particular podcast would get that. So I'm going to get into spoilers. A lot of blood-soaked fun, even if it's not the most wholly original thing. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So, there's a part in the very beginning where convenience store is getting robbed, and then our heroine shows up and beats the shit out of some guys. She's trying to pay for some, and these guys are criminals, and even though she can take hits and does get hit, she takes a licking, she keeps on kicking. She beat the shit out of these guys. Could she beat me up like that next? Never mind. There's the ballerina parts, that is Min-hee, and we find out why that stuff happened with her, why she doesn't do ballerina stuff anymore. We also find out how they came to be and they came to meet. What I really liked about the convenience store part was I think everybody can identify with just wanting to do that works in retail. Just beat the shit out of people if they're robbers or just criminals in general. Just beat the shit out of them. But fortunately, we have our heroine to do that. The soundtrack is super catchy. K-pop, K-rock. A lot of catchy shit here, even if I don't understand what the fuck they're saying, because I barely speak English, as you can tell. And she's very skilled. We find out through flashbacks that she ran into an old friend, that's Min-hee, who took her own life and was found in a bathtub and said, could you get revenge for me? And the reason is, she basically, there were certain things that happened involving like grooming of young girls and young girls being taken advantage of and filmed doing particular acts where the shame could be brought down upon them. The rave part made me a little bit dizzy with all the flashing lights, admittedly. There's a guy named Pro Choi. I prefer Bok Choi. Boy, this review's going well. That guy did good. He kind of reminded me of a South Korean version of Brandon Lee's Crow, in all honesty. And then we get a part where she is pretending to be interested in him. And then also she ends up, trying to kill him because he was the one that had all this stuff to do, with the death of her friend. And she gets to where she's knifing him, and she gets a knife in his cheek and does that, and it's like it's near his tongue. It's great makeup effects and great stuff, and oh, it was so tremendous. And then she doesn't quite get a chance to dispatch him, but that plays into the rest of the movie. She almost gets taken out by somebody, but a door gets slammed in this guy's face who has a chainsaw, and he ends up chainsawing his own foot off. That was good stuff there. And it's this little girl that the actress could be 15, she could be 30. It's hard to tell because of genetics of South Korean women. It's really hard to tell what's going on there. The main heroine, I looked this up, is, I believe, just going to be 30 next year. She certainly doesn't look it. I would have guessed maybe 20. It's hard to tell. Good genetics there because it means you can look youthful, relive your youths, as it were. But as far as an action movie goes, we get the stuff going on with our heroine and this little girl. And I did like how there was a little side thing with Pro Choi and his drug business, and there's also his bosses above him. There's drugs and these little plastic fishies. What kind of drugs it is, who knows? He pays his pharmaceutical friend, hey, 100 million, whatever the currency is over there in South Korea. And, well, there's a plan being hatched because his cheek got cut, but he's got, and pretty violently too. Pretty dark scene. And even though the hotel part was great, then our heroine, Okju, goes to some old colleagues and gets some guns, and there's this funny part with this old South Korean couple that has this moving truck full of weapons, and there's this one little gun from, like, the James Bond days, the little gun, like the two bullet shot, that if you're in a pinch, you can keep it, in your ankle. Well, attached to your ankle, not in your ankle. That'd make it very hard to walk. And pull it out in a pinch. That's something that's referenced. And also a flamethrower backpack that gets brought up. And that was great. That was good. This movie embraces enough comedy that it does offset enough of the cliches. So we get more flashbacks. And he was doing the stuff with the the cakes. It was a cake shop thing, and her and Okju bonded over all this stuff. And then we get a bit of a fight where the girl tries to fight back, but she gets captured by our villains. And then the heroine basically decides, I'm going to go kill them all. She dispatches some people, shoots the boss in the goddamn head during a greenhouse scene, which was great. It's fucking great. Just shoots him from about like 100 feet away, just boom. And she can't get answers, and then she has to basically fight a whole bunch of people. And the numbers increase, and the numbers get worse. She takes out some of them with guns, but these guns that she got from this old couple keep jamming. But she just kept jamming. I wanted to jam it with you. She kept fighting and fighting and fighting. And then she finds that the little girl may be dead. But she's not dead. But our heroine gets shot because our villain is bound and determined to not be anti-Choi before he is pro-Choi. This is not going well. This is not going well at all. He shoots his pharmaceutical friend in the back of the head because he's like, nope, I'm not going to have anybody because everybody's dead. Except the little girl's not dead. Or the little girl that could be 30 for all I know is not dead. She shoots him, and then the small gun gets involved, the little Bond gun. He's shot. And meanwhile, they had stolen... our heroine had stolen his Lamborghini a while ago, and they take him onto the beach. There's a big old showdown where he says, I'm going to go to hell, and because your friend took her life, she's going to be in hell, and I'm going to torture her for all eternity. And is that what you want? And then she sets him on fire, basically right after saying, well, I guess I can prey on you in hell. And there you go. She sets him on fire on the beach, and that's it. She has more memories of her friend her friend that wanted to become a fish in another life, and then we cut to the ballerina friend spinning in the sea. Cultural differences. I'm not exactly sure I understood that right there. It was breezy. A few things were, But the violence was goddamn great. Great stuff. That hotel scene, in particular, probably was the peak of the whole thing. Fun pace. Good stuff. B+. Really enjoyed Ballerina. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.